Hello, and thanks for visiting my YouTube channel. I created this channel, or the motivation to create this channel was twofold. First and foremost was for my own advancement. I wanted to have a place where I could store the trades that I make. I just recently started videotaping my trading. I used to up to this point I kept a cognitive journal, and writing it every day. It's kind of a diary of sorts, if you will, and trying to reflect upon, if I had a losing trade, what my state of mind was, what caused me to exit the trade, what caused me to enter, was it a good setup to begin with, or whatnot. It was hard for me to pull that information out of memory at the end of the day and use that to learn from, to not make the same mistake twice, and also to build upon the strengths that I see. So anyways, I decided the best way to do this in real time is basically create a video. So I created a YouTube channel. So I will be using this for my own trader advancement, and secondly, it's a public forum, so if there's any comments or constructive criticism, I welcome it. It's always a learning process, and on top of that, I'm probably just like everyone else. I've been undercapitalized. It's caused psychologically, that's a huge issue. I don't know if it's like that with everyone, but it is with me. It causes me to take my cut my winning trades short. Um, you know, leaving profits on the table, causes me to hold my losers too long, and it's been painful. So I have been making progress absolutely every year. This is my third year trading. I've been through a few different methodologies. Each one I've taken a little piece from that kind of fits my personality into what I have as my methodology today. I will start with my most recent trading, and the one that the training that I use on a daily basis, and that's market profile. I went to attended Jim Dalton's intensives last year, both of them, and since I've learned about the market profile, it's completely changed the way I look at the trading landscape. I mean, I've learned so much from him, and what the market profile provides in terms of being able to dissect what is going on in the market in terms of being able to assimilate all of this, what may appear to be random price action, into a 2 or 3D structure, to be able to be able to form trade setups from that with high probabilities of being successful. So also I attended JPJ Trading's courses. It's taught me a tremendous amount, and I'm still part of his grandfather's group. And I also, on one of my trading platforms, NinjaTrader, I'll talk about my platforms here in a second, but I use a set of 3 non-correlated indicators from eMiningWatch.com. I've got no affiliation with them, and but these indicators I couldn't trade without them. They're very well very well written. They're highly sophisticated, and they're pretty accurate. With that being said, let me talk about my trading platforms. I use Market Delta and I use NinjaTrader. Market Profile is an add-on to Market Delta. Market Profile is this center chart here. I also use Cumulative Delta. So on the top pane we have my price chart, and on the bottom pane as the Cumulative Delta. Okay, and I also use a volume imbalance footprint chart provided by Market Delta. That's this one here. Top pane is the actual footprint chart, and it identifies volume imbalances to the buy side and the sell side. So these bright green numbers right here is a volume imbalance to the buy side. So if you're getting ready to take a long trade, for example, right here, You want to see, well, we don't have to, but it's nice to see a volume imbalance in favor of the bulls. So when you're taking a long trade, and vice versa, we have volume imbalances to the downside too, where the price action is in favor of the bears. The middle pane here is a filtered. It identifies all lots greater than 100. That's the threshold that I have it set at. So these are professionals and or institutional traders. I don't know of any retail traders that trade in 100 lot sizes or greater. This bottom pane is a volume breakdown, and essentially I have the results plotting as a delta momentum. So it's real nice to see when you're in a trade. You want to see that delta momentum kind of build up. I'm trying to find a good example here. Anyway, here's a decent one. I mean, if you're in a long trade, take a long trade here. You want to, you want to see the delta momentum going in the direction of the trade that you're in at that particular time. I mean, that's going to give you more confidence to stay in that trade, because you know that if you're long, the bulls are winning. These are aggressive traders, so it only plots, the market orders that have been filled. So another chart that I use is also another footprint chart. It's the basically a delta footprint chart. And it's got some colors, so the more darker the green is, the more overpowering the bulls are to the bears, and vice versa. Down here in the bottom, I have several footprint bar statistics. Some of the ones I kind of pay attention to quite a bit is these last three columns here in gray or white, or last three rows, actually, the bottom three rows. At extremes or retracement pullback levels where price might reverse, I look for high volumes, possibly a situation of absorption, to indicate there might be a possible reversal coming up. I've got a volume breakdown pane in the bottom here, just like the other footprint chart, but this one doesn't print delta momentum. There's no the only result that I'm printing is just basically the delta between the buys and the sells. My NinjaTrader, I use tick bar charts. So I got a lower time frame 1500 tick bar chart and a 2250 tick bar chart. I also use a 10,000 and a 20,000 tick bar chart on another workspace that I use for my bird's eye view of things that are going on. So the indicators that I use is like I said, they're called the Better Indicators from eMiniWatch.com. They're based on average trade size, price, and volume. Average trade size is these blue bars. This is professional activity. It's based on average trade size. Professionals trade in larger size than amateurs or retail traders. These yellow bars are amateurs. So a lot of times there's trade setups based on these. I mean, if you see amateurs getting active towards the high of the day, thinking it's going to be a new breakout, and you see professionals coming behind that, it's a heads up that it might be a reversal. Pros like to run the market down and hit stops. So I use that quite a bit. It takes a while to interpret these bars, but once I get the hang of it, they work out pretty well. The price down here, this is better sine wave based on John Eller's work, but it's based on volume, not it plots off of volume, not price, but it does plot cyclical support and resistance levels based off of price, and it's pretty accurate. So support levels are red, these red dashed lines here, and resistance is white. And so when this sine wave is cycling back and forth and printing a bunch of cyclical resistance and support levels, it's just consolidation, chop. Nobody's winning or losing here. There's definitely some trades that are can be had in these congestion areas, but it just tells you that from a data stream point of view, there's not a lot going on, and don't expect a lot adjust your expectations. When there's a trend going on, this is a small example of a trend. This will not, these lines won't cross, and there won't be nothing printed. I mean, this white line here was printed way back here, and it continues to print, but there's nothing printed in terms of cyclical support for a while, because just the data that's being received isn't enough to print a cyclical support level. The better momentum is based on volume, so it identifies exhaustion volume, which is some of these, little balls that print. Bearish divergence is a white ball, bullish divergence is red. Yellow is a flush pattern, depending on what side of the zero line these are printing on. This, for example, is a flush pattern to flush out all the buyers. And a lot of times there's a trade setup that fire off of these setups. Like, for example, this was Friday, March 11th, 2016. We see price coming up here, and there's an exhaustion buy. This blue ball up here is a pro signal exit. These two right here don't have to print in tandem. You might get one to print and not the other one, but when they print at the same time, that's even more, even a little bit more, carries a little bit more weight than just seeing one or the other print. Now, and then we have a bearish divergence print very close to the zero line. I like to see what I call a trifecta setup, and this is the first, second, and here's the third that makes up the third signal. It makes up that trifecta. This is a flush pattern saying all the bulls have been flushed out, and now the market's prepared or set up to be so it can be taken down. I was quite active this day. This is 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. I saw this setup come up. It's highly reliable, and I kind of got chopped up on this particular day, but price had to make another move higher. Pros are active up here, reversing their positions. A lot of times these are limit orders getting hit, and then boom, price count falls. If you hear in my videos, I'm talking about trifecta setting up. That's kind of what I'm referring to. There's several setups. The majority of my setups come from JPJ Trading, and then I have some setups based off of these indicators here that I use. I use a market profile to kind of reinforce the setups if I want to take them or not, and I'll talk about those as I start posting videos more and more. That's about it. So again, thanks for visiting my channel, and I guess stay tuned for me starting to post some trades.